Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today's Tuesday, June 4th, 2020. Thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate it. We are again in the final hour of the trading day. In my opinion, the best and most valid time to make the majority of your buying and selling decisions is at the end of the day, in the last hour, in particular in the last few minutes of the day. I say this because in the last hour of the day, the large financial institutions start making their decisions on what they're going to buy and sell. They're dealing with the most money. They have very smart people, best technology, best information, and they start essentially placing their positions at the end of the day. During the day, you have the algorithms and the day traders. They're controlling. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in with size. I consider it smart money for the reasons I discussed before. And so I like to piggyback my trading decisions based upon what they are doing at the end of the day, because I consider it smart money. So anyway, that's why I make the majority of my buying and selling decisions at the end of the day. I did have a few day trades today. I will share those with you. But listen, thank you all for coming by. It's always nice to see everybody. I do appreciate you being here and investing your time. I hope it's helping. I hope you're learning something, but I'm really grateful that we have such a nice little channel and community here and see all my friends each day. So thank you so much for coming. So David is here. Hey, Dave, good to see you, bud. Appreciate you coming. Hi, Kamal. How are you, sir? Good to see you. Zach is here. Hey, Zach, good to see you, bud. Marco is here. Hey, Marco, hope you're having a good evening there in Europe and hope that you had a good day. Scatty13 is here. Hello, Greg and all. Hello, Scatty13. Nice to see you. Quad Racer. Quad Racer is the big winner of the day. I can't wait to go to his trade. Awesome. But good to see you, bud. Miko25. Hey, Miko. Nice to see you, sir. Appreciate it. Merritt. Oh, my gosh. What is going on, buddy? How are you? I've had so many people ask about you, and I was wondering, and I was hoping everything was okay, but great to see you. Oh my gosh, that's our friend Merritt from Norway. Merritt says, hi Greg and all, long time since the last time. I wasn't able to check in due to my change in schedule. Okay, fantastic. Be honest with you, Merritt, I was worried about you. When we had the big meltdown in the energy, I know you like to trade energy, and my imagination ran wild, and I was like, oh my gosh, I hope he didn't have a large position that he really got stuck in. That's what I was wondering. That was my first thought, but it's your change of schedule. So nice to have you back, bud. Really great to see you again. Thanks for coming. Hope you keep coming back. Quad says, yes, I was happy to be in the green today. Absolutely. Marco says, we miss Merritt. I've had so many people ask about Merritt. I've had Kamal, and I've had Jesse, and Steve. I think Steve did, and a couple other people. We missed you. We missed you, Merritt. Good to see you. All right. Well. Let's see how things are going over here. So currently, Dow Jones is down 71 points, down 0.28%. NASDAQ is taking the brunt of it today, down 0.87%. S&P is down 0.64%. So Dow Jones is hanging in there the best. Oh, wait, I should probably check. No, IWM is holding in there the best. But one of the big reasons the Dow's up, or at least not down so much, is because of Boeing, which I have, thankfully. So, all right, well, listen, here's the plan for today, everybody. As always, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. We're going to come back. We're going to take a look at all my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them moving forward. I'm going to show you a few day trades that I have. Then we're going to go over to some of your trades and see where you entered and see how those are doing. And Quad today's had a monster day today. Monster. So happy for Quad. When I woke up this morning and I looked, I was like, oh, sweet. So anyway, all right. Then after that, going to do a few minutes on trader psychology. You know, it's very important to me, and it's important to me because it's important to trading. We need to learn how to trade. We need to learn how to identify support and resistance levels. We do for sure, right? We really always have to do that. But we do that so that we can create a plan. But following that plan is a whole other challenge. That's the main challenge. I mean, new traders probably don't really understand this. They just say, well, yeah, you're supposed to buy here and you're supposed to buy there. That is true in a perfect world, but in an imperfect world, our imperfect human brains get in the way and go, fear, greed, fear, greed. So anyway, I like to talk about trader psychology, hit it from different angles with different posts, and that is as much for you as it is for me, because I'm human and I need to read good trading words of wisdom as well. Then we're going to go down through my watch list. We're going to go through each stock. You know, I have 3 requirements whenever I'm looking to enter a trade at the end of the day. First, confluence or combination of indicators. Need to have those line up. I look at indicators lining up as groups of buyers, and you're going to put yourself in the best chance. You're going to improve your chances dramatically to have a profitable trade if you're in the company with as many other groups of buyers as possible. So how do I do that? Well, I do that by looking for a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up, ideally on one time frame. On one time frame is good, but ideally on 2 time frames is even better. So that's first requirement. Second requirement, have to make sure we have a good risk to reward ratio. That's very important, at least 2 to 1, based upon valid resistance above you, or likely resistance above you, and valid support below you. Number 3, please keep in mind, please keep a tab on how many positions you have, total positions you have, and how correlated they are. You don't want to have all cruise line stocks, right? Because they're probably all going to go up and down together. So have a variety of different industries. Ideally, you can go outside of equities like oil and gas and silver, bonds possibly, but being diversified as much as you can is a really good thing. So you're going to go down, look for those 3 requirements. If I find something at the end of the day, I will go ahead, place the trade with the best setup, the one that has the most confluence of indicators and all the other stuff we talked about, right? Then when the market closes, if anybody has any questions or needs any clarification, please just let me know. Type it in the chat. Also, if there's any stock symbols you'd like to get my opinion on, please type them in the chat. If there's any stock symbols that you'd like to get my opinion on before the market closes, put it in the chat, put an asterisk or a star by it, and I will do my very best to get to it before the close of the market. And then also, if you have any new entries or exits you want me to update on the board for you, if you could be so kind and please wait till the end of the day. That way the pressure's off, because I'm always up against that close, right? And then the pressure's off, and then I can make sure I can put them in there correctly, get everything straight. So we have a good list. Make sure I've updated your positions correctly. But if you could just wait till after the market closes, I would appreciate that. So, all right. Well, that is the plan for today. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thanks. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks for holding. All right. Murrah says, I was out before the meltdown. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. And I was short oil when it collapsed. Oh, I'm really glad to hear that. It was the timing of Murrah not coming back and that happening, and I thought the worst. But anyway, I'm glad. I'm really glad to hear that, Murrah. Really glad. Glenn, hey Glenn, how you doing, my friend? Glenn says, hi Greg, we'll be closing Netflix if it closes below 50 EMA. Yep, that was your entry point, wasn't it? Kamal says, let's take a look at edit. Well, I don't really see. I mean, the only thing I see there was possibly a short from yesterday with this lower high. See how this high is lower than this high? And we got up here near the halfway mark. We had a V1 to the downside. I don't see any buy signal there other than yesterday possibly a short. ANAB and NAPC Bio looks like a V1 bearish engulfing bar, V1 false breakout to the upside. That would have been a short. I don't see any buy here today, but I can see a possible short yesterday. Not just because it's down today, but you know, beyond. Yeah, I don't see anything there, Kamal, honestly. Bluebird Bio, nice V1 bullish engulfing bar, but for me too high. Up here, it's above the 1 ATR channel. And Spice, Virgin Galactic. Well, you know, this is a bit of a nuanced trade here. I mean, it would be an advanced trade, and it's nothing really I teach my students too much, although I did take an exact trade like this on Apple today. But yesterday we had a higher low V1 rejection of the -1 ATR channel. That's good. Now it's holding halfway of yesterday's washout bar. And now if you would have bought it yesterday at the close, you'd have been underwater. But you know, this is a bit more of an aggressive trade. Just you're kind of assuming that it's going to hold that halfway. I mean, you'd get a better price today if you bought it here than if you bought it at the close. And then if you bought it intraday and then it closed below halfway of this washout bar, you know, you'd have a good risk to reward ratio because it's kind of holding on right now, that halfway bar. But that's how I see it. That it's more of an advanced trade, but you can see it is holding halfway of yesterday's up bar, and I guess it's technically below it. Andrea, hey all, feels like we're gonna be back to risk on. Hi Andrea, nice to see you. Always appreciate you being here. Yeah, it feels that way today. Murat says I am long oil, short USD TRY, short GB. Don't know what that is. Short gold, short silver, the only one which is red. You know, Kamal had a beautiful trade, Murat, on silver. I don't know what the exact percentages are now, but it was over 20%. I know that. Kamal says, welcome back, Murat. Frank says, hello, Greg and group. Good to see you, Frank. Hope you're having a nice day, sir. Murat says, also short. Okay, so I think is that currencies, Murat? Steve says, hello everyone. The stock index 70 RSI has held so far. Good to see you, Steve. Appreciate you being here, my friend. Yes, and Steve had an excellent exit yesterday on his double leveraged Dow and his double leveraged S&P because of the rejection yesterday of the 70. I believe we tested it again today. So that's 2 times that we have tested it, but excellent trade on that, Steve, that you got out yesterday. Good call, my friend, and thank you so much for coming. Appreciate you being here. And again, man, I'm missing your video newsletter. I know Steve retired it. I think yesterday was the last day, but anyway, it's like the Johnny Carson show going off the air. Those of you old enough will remember that. But Steve will come up with something else, I'm sure. Murat says, don't have any stock position. Quad says, Intel, I noticed, has a big V1, but my only concern is a weak MACD bar. Also looking for feedback on Philip Morris. All right. Well, it had a V1 a couple days ago. but it didn't come really into the value zone too much. I mean, I guess it technically did, but I like it to come a little deeper. Today we have a V1. It's off of its high. It's right there at that 1 ATR channel. I don't think I would take that, to be honest with you. Philip Morris up today. It's a V1, but way too high. Look at that. It's the second ATR channel. Remember, the only thing I'll take this high is a crossover, and the second ATR channel is my max. If I'm taking a regular V1, V2, really my absolute maximum of maximum is the 1 ATR channel. So I wouldn't be buying up here. Doesn't mean it can't keep going up. It certainly can, but Murat says, thank you all. I missed the 1.5 hour every day. Just awesome to have you back. Mohammed, hello, Mohammed. Good to see you, sir. All right, Frank has a poem for us. Murat, I'm not sure you were around when we have Frank here with the poems, but he does an awesome poem every day. And let's take a look what he says. When you work a position, think what's cooking in the kitchen. House money is now your money. It's cash you've earned, so be careful what you burn, because if you put it on the line, just remember it's your dime. Ha ha ha. Man, that's so good. When you work a position, think what's cooking in the kitchen. House money is now your money. It's cash you've earned, so be careful what you burn, because if you put it on the line, just remember it's your dime. And that is very, very true. Sometimes people think just because it's market money, meaning it's money that you have, that you've made on a trade, they're like, it's just house money or it's just market money. Well, it's your money. It is your money, so don't be flippant with it. Right, Frank? Thank you, bud. Steve says, thanks, Greg, for the kind words. I have gotten to work with the new e-courses. Well, please let us know when that's available, Steve, and we'll talk about it here and share a link, because any courses or any product that comes from Steve, you've seen his results. You've seen what a trader he is. I mean, he has good, valuable content. So please let me know, Steve. All right, let's get to it. Take a look at my current positions here. First position, coffee. First time I've traded coffee in years. I used to trade coffee futures. I bought this back here on June 1st, my mother's birthday, with a nice V1 bullish engulfing bar, under 30, over 30, and close over the negative third ATR channel. Talk about a confluence of signals. Well, there it is. Next day, it just went sideways. Yesterday, gapped up. I did hit one profit target. Today, gapped down, went down, held the third ATR channel, right back up, about 4 cents down on the trade, but actually positive on the trade because I took some off here. So my stop here is going to be a close below the 30 RSI. SPY. All right. So I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I sell it first thing the next morning. So why do I do this? This is from Lizanne Saunders at Bespoke Invest. She did a back study with 2 options every day since 1993. Option 1, buy the SPY at the open, hold through the day, sell at the close. If you use this approach every day since 1993, you'd have lost a negative 13.9% return. However, if you do the opposite, which is what I do, buy the SPY at the close, hold overnight, take that overnight risk, that's where the edge in this system is, and sell first thing the next morning, it was up 634.2% return. So big difference. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. We know that. It may never work again in the history of the universe, but since 1993, it has done well. And you can see the blue line is the buy in the afternoon, sell the next morning. Orange line's buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon. Huge difference. This one over time has just gone up and up and up and up and up. There are drawdowns. It's like riding a bucking bronco, and I have been through a little bit of this bronco riding, but you can see over time it does have a good track record. And if I'm going to allocate money towards something, I'm going to allocate it towards something that has a good track record. And the buying in the morning, sell in the afternoon does not. Had quite a run on this lately. You know, in February and March, it was like combat. It was horrible. Every day I'd wake up, go damage report on the overnight SPY trade. right? But this month has been fantastic. I bought today was a loss though. I bought yesterday at 312.18, sold this morning at 311.12. So I lost a little over $1, but it's okay. I've made back close to 70, somewhere 73, 74% of my losses on the year, and I'm glad I stuck with it because I did chicken out that one day. If anybody remembers, I was like, this is too brutal, and I skipped it. But I was like, no, I have to stay with the plan, and I did. So anyway, I will be buying this again at the close. All right. Well, Boeing has been a monster trade for me. You can see it's up 5.52%. I did buy this on the weekly. The reason I bought it, we had a confluence of indicators on the weekly. We went under 30, then we closed over 30. We had a nice V2. And we also went under the negative third, over the negative third. So that's why I bought. Let's see. I did hit another profit target today. If we look at it on the daily, you can see right up here. Well, actually, it opened. Excuse me. It opened about here. So that's where I got out. I got some positive slippage there. But anyway, this has been a fantastic trade. It's been the biggest trade of the year for me, from entry to current, where it's at 33.13%. So MA is in there. Glad to have you in MA. And this has been a monster. 33%. So my initial profit target is the 50 RSI. We are more than one ATR for my entry, so I will start instituting a trailing stop. But so far, so good, and it's up 25% just this week. Amazon. All right, I did short Amazon back on the week of 522. The reason I shorted it, it rejected the 70 RSI on the weekly. It went above it and then closed below it, rejected the third ATR channel, and also had a false breakout to the upside from this previous high. Next week, it went down right away, which was nice. I did hit one profit target. Today, it is down 18.73 points. The previous high up here at 24.74 is my stop loss. So tomorrow is Friday. This is a weekly bar, so I make all my decisions at the end of the week. If it closes above, I'll have to get out for a small loss. If it stays below, I will just keep it and then manage it again next Friday. Etsy. Well, Etsy's been a really good trade. It's a beautiful example of a return to value sideways motion V1, V2 trigger. So here we're above the 1 ATR channel. We come back into the value zone. We have sideways movement showing that at least some buyers came up. We had one stab down. They tried to take it down. People didn't like the price there. Reversed back up. I bought it at 76.05. My stop would have been halfway to this washout bar. It's just moved up ever since. The perfect example of why I like to phase out, everybody. I did hit two profit targets today, 82.92 and 85.18. So very thankful I locked in those profits. This is a horrible bar. It's V1 to the downside, close to being bullish engulfing, rejected the 1 ATR channel, rejected halfway this washout bar. So fortunate that I hit the profit targets here today, but I'm going to take this off the table. Just lock in profits on this. And Karen and Bing He and Miko 25 are also in here. So this has been a really nice trade for us. But earlier in the day, it was looking fantastic, but now not so hot tamale, right? But I don't know if Karen or Bing He or Miko used profit targets, but this is the reason why I like to use them specifically for this. But I will be exiting this today. Alibaba. Well, same kind of trade, return back into the value zone, sideways motion. Technically had a V1, but not a great one. But the reason I took it here was because of the 520 crossover. I bought it at 206.69. Just exploded, took off. You know, we had a trade on this last time, almost exactly the same. I bought it here. same trade. We rode it up to here. I got out here. Then we have another trade here, rode it up to here. I'm a little concerned about this. It's a V1 to the downside. We haven't been able to get above this previous high. I think I'm just going to lock this in as well. But Miko, David, Pinsky, Frank, and Karen look like they also have this. So me personally, I'm going to get out. Doesn't mean everybody else has to get out, but I am most likely going to get out of this unless for some reason we can close back above here if we have an end of day rally, which I don't know if we're going to or not, but I'm happy with that. I don't like the red flag of the V1. XLRE, well, I don't take a lot of short positions, but I did short real estate yesterday. I like the confluence, the rejection of the 200-day, the rejection of the 70 RSI, or very close. If I was wrong, I would be wrong if it closed above the 200-day, hopefully for a small gain, but I felt like the risk to reward was good based upon the confluence of resistance of the 200 and the 70 here, and the subtle rejection of the 200, and today it's down 2.2%. I did hit 2 profit targets to the downside. I know you're not used to seeing these, but I did hit 2 profit targets, lock those in, so this one's doing great, and I will keep that. Lastly, couple trades on Apple today, intraday trades. Let me go back to where this was. All right. Now, I was just telling Kamal about kind of a anticipatory trade. And this is a good example of that. Here we have Apple. We rejected the 1 ATR channel, came back down. We came up again, rejected that high again. Then we had a big bar down. I didn't short this bar. Lots of times you'll have a big bar down, then you'll have an attempted rally before it fails. That's exactly what happened. I was fortunate enough on this trade that when it got back to about halfway, I didn't wait for any other trigger. I just shorted it, and my stop would have been a close above here, but it worked out really well. I shorted it here at 325.18, and it immediately went my way. Bump, 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 bump. I got out here. Didn't quite get down to the 3rd ATR channel, and it was a good trade. So I shorted at 325.18 and I got out at 323.49 right here. It was just like, okay, that was enough. That was enough profit, and it, couldn't get down to the 3rd ATR channel. So anyway, that's the short there. So I'm going to take this off so that we have a more clear chart. Then it did go down. I was like, oh, dang. But as it turns out, that really was a good place to get out. Then this is a very good example, everybody, of why I like to buy higher lows. I don't like to generally just buy, see how we came below the 200 and then went back above. This is from a lower low perspective. What I was hoping is that it would then go back down and then back up so I can see the higher low from this low, and it's exactly what happened. So because the people that bought here, once it gets up here and they get some bad price action, they'll sell. That will generally cause it to come back down. So then, and I don't know if Gary's out there listening today when we talked about this last night, but you see the higher low and you have the V2, day 1, day 2, or bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 2 washes out bar 1, bar 3 closes above bar 1's close. And it also closed above the 200-day moving average, giving me a very good risk to reward ratio. I remember because immediately it went below me. I was like, dang it. But I was waiting for the end of the bar, right? So intra-bar, it went down, closed back above, moved up, moved up, moved up. Once it got up here, I started trailing with the close below the previous day's low. It held, it held, it held, and then it closed here. So I got in here at 323.04 and I got out here at 323.49. So about 54 cents. All right. So those are the intraday trades, one long, one short. I'll tell you what though, the podcast saved me from a losing trade. Where was it? It was here. It went under 30, over 30. I was going to take it, but then I decided, no, I don't want to have to be managing this. The podcast coming up, moved sideways and then just collapsed. I would have had to get out here, but but fortunately I didn't take that because of the podcast. Okay. Let's go to your trades. Bob and Quad have UNG. They bought it with this false break of this low of this range plus the V1. I took the trade as well. I got out here the next day when it failed, and it moved sideways. It was up yesterday a bit and up a little bit today. So that's Bob and Quad. Netflix, Glenn bought Netflix at 403.16 intraday when it right at the 50-day moving average, moved up nicely. Today it's down. I believe Glenn told me that if he's going to get out with a close below the 50, I believe. So that's his trailing stop, and he'll still have a profitable trade on that. GIB. Hold on. What am I doing here? Oh, I'm good. Okay. GIB. Kamal and Frank took this. I look at this trade and go, why did I not take this trade? It's perfect. We made a lower low. We rallied into the value zone. We have a pullback, then a beautiful V1 bullish engulfing bar. They bought it here at 62.18. This thing has just been a beauty. So that's Kamal and Frank. Congratulations. Let's see. You guys are up 7.24%. Fantastic trade. XLU MA had a beautiful trade back here. False breakout of this previous low. V1 bullish engulfing bar. Bought it here at 55.57, and this thing has just been a monster. If I was in this trade, I'd be getting out today with the rejection of the third ATR channel and the 200-day moving average. All right, here's the winner of the day, everybody. Our good friend Quad Racer bought this V1 here. He held on to it. Look at this all this sideways motion. Up 17.99% today. Rejected the third ATR channel. That could be a little bit telling. Also, did it reject the 50 RSI? I mean, the 70 RSI? Let's see. 69.83. So pretty close. So, you know, a little bit of red flags there with the rejection of the 70 and possibly the third ATR channel, but up 17.99%, man. Beautiful trade, Quad. Let's have everybody give Quad a hand on that. That's a beauty. USO, Karen and MA, wonderful trade on oil. We had this sideways motion. We had a spike. We had a stab down, reversal back up. Karen and MA and Kamal and myself, we all bought oil here at 21.49 roughly. I actually scaled out, ran out of shares here. I can't remember what Kamal did. Then we had a little bit of a pullback, and I think Kamal got out. But Karen and MA are still in this trade. And from entry to exit, it's 27.48%. So these are some monster trades. WB being he had a beautiful V1 false breakout to the downside of this range, bought it at 30.63. Look at this beautiful trade being he has had. Now, if I was in this trade, I'd probably get out today with the rejection of the 50-day moving average. At least I would get out a half and then wait for a close below the previous day's low. That's generally kind of what I like to do. If we get a rejection from something to the upside, I like to at least get out a half, and then if we have follow through the next day, get out of the rest. BGS being he had a nice trade here. Not sure what the signal was, but it doesn't matter because it worked out well. It was up nicely, still up, but down off of its highs. And that's it. All right. So listen, before we go down through my watch list, before I look for a possible end of day trade using Confluence combination of indicators, good risk to reward ratio, at least 2-to-1, and keeping in mind correlation account heat. Before I do that, I just want to talk a little bit today about some trader psychology or trading philosophy. There's some really good Facebook and Twitter channels out there that spend a lot of time and energy, burn a lot of calories in writing good words of wisdom, trading words of wisdom for us to read. And, I go through Facebook, I go through Twitter, and when I find something that is helpful for me and I also think would be helpful for the group, I like to cut it out, talk about it. This is from Anthony Crudell. I don't know if it's Crudell or Crudelli. Anyway, sorry, Anthony, but at Anthony Crudell on Twitter. He's a great trader. I believe he trades futures, but he talks about really good things as far as trading psychology goes. So let's see what Anthony has to say. When it comes to trading, I'd rather be unknowledgeable and nimble than smart and stubborn. I see people defend why they are right, in quotes, about what should be happening in the markets, but yet market prices disagree with them. It's okay to be wrong. I'm wrong a lot. It's just not okay to stay wrong. We are all going to be wrong in trading. It's just part of it's just part of the trade, right? But the important part, like Anthony says, is we can't stay wrong, right? The smartest people, in my opinion, have the toughest time in the market because they say, look, this market is too low, it needs to go up, or it is too high and it needs to go down, right? I fall into that category. I have to fight that all the time. But what Anthony's saying is, look, I'd rather be not so smart and be nimble than smart and stubborn. If you get an idea in your head that something's too high and too low, and you're going to defend it with the sword, boy, watch out, right? Just take your trade, assume you're wrong on the trade. That way, when you're wrong, you will be right, and it won't hurt your ego when you'll get out. I have a friend we talked about Boeing yesterday. He bought a lot of Boeing. He's averaged down. And I think he was down $80,000 on the trade, and he came all the way back, and he's only down like $600. And I said, oh, great, get out of the trade. He's like, well, I can't get out of the trade. I had a loss. I have to wait till it goes positive. I'm like, what is wrong with you? You have $80,000 just for the fact that it's going to be positive. That's the only thing that matters to you. You've come back almost $80,000, but his ego, hope he's not listening, but his ego can't let him take the loss. Can you imagine? But I know a lot of people like that. Their ego won't let them take the loss. I would be very happy with this, just locking in a $600 loss after $80,000, a $600 loss after an $80,000 drawdown. You know what I mean? So anyway, thank you, Anthony. Appreciate that, my friend. Hope you have a good day, and thanks for all the good posts that you have. Quad says, hey, Greg, my stock chart shows PM being in the value zone. Could my charts be off? Yeah, unless mine are. Let me see. Yeah, I have a feeling that your charts are not adjusting for dividends. That's my guess. I'm not 100% sure, but PM, right? No, this is not in the value zone. Tim Bates. Hello, Tim. Good to see you. Andrea says, wow, 33%. That's awesome. It's pretty good, huh, Andrea? Frank says, it's the kind of market where airline stocks are taking off with no passengers. What's to worry about? Tim says, sports betting stocks are rising with no sports. Perfectly normal. Yeah, sounds about right. Andrea says, Tim Bates, haha, nothing is normal anymore. Frank says, hi, Andrea. Andrea says, hi, Frank, are you ready for CA to split off the continent? Frank says, why not? The country is divided anyway. Gary, hey, buddy, good lesson last night. I think you did really well. I was really impressed with Gary. We had V1, V2 night. Hi, Greg. Nice trades. Thank you, sir. Gary says, I have both UNG and Etsy. Okay. I am going to be getting out of Etsy and probably Baba today as well. Frank says, this podcast is really good for a trader's head. Oh, good. I'm glad you feel that way, Frank. Quad says, I did sell the rest once I saw it rejected the third ATR. Oh, perfect. Beautiful. Gary says, nice trade, Quad. Murat says, oil will fill the gap. Glenn says, well done, Quad. Murat says, there are just working on the weak hands. A lot of people are shaken off because of bad news and OPEC compliance. I'm glad to have Murat back. Murat's our oil specialist. He works in the industry. Wiener Dog, good afternoon. Hey, Karen, good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Glenn says, American Airlines up 40%, Zoom down 6%. Looks like staying home trend is fading. Sounds like Tim says, Greg, you're describing my current situation with MOGA, not 80 grand, though I should cut my losses and free up capital. Yeah, yeah, it probably is. Probably is a good idea. I mean, depending on what's going on with the charts. But Frank says, if you look at the smart dumb money index, the dumb money leads by a lot. Yes, that is true. I have read that. Mert says, after so much suffering, I developed falling when I had losing trades. Do I buy it at this level if I don't have a position at all? Excellent trade, Quad Racer. All right. Well, I am way behind. Let me see what's happening here. Do I even have time to go through everything? I better first look at my current positions. See if there's any change here. Okay. Coffee's fine. Up slightly on the trade now. S&P had the overnight loss. Going to be buying that again at the close. Boeing, it's a wonderful trade. Hit profit target today. Amazon, I'm short, and it is short. So that is good. I mean, it's down. Etsy, I am definitely getting out of this today. It's been a nice trade. Glad to hit those 2 profit targets. But, this is a very volatile bar. Gary, if you're out there, we talk about the big reversal bars, volatility bars. This would qualify, right? So out of Etsy, I'm going to be out of Etsy. Alibaba, it's V1 to the downside. It had issues up at this level again, so I am going to be getting out of Alibaba. My short on XLRE is down nicely, and then Apple. Oh, that was the Apple day trade. Okay. All right, I'm going to go through these fairly quickly because I am running pretty short on time. Apple, need to pull back into the value zone, V1, V2 before I get interested. Adobe, look at this, bearish engulfing bar, V1 to the downside, false breakout to the upside from over here. Boy, that would be a pretty good possible short. V1 to the downside, false breakout to the upside, bullish engulfing bar. You know what I think I'm going to do? In my experience, I don't like to short initially. Just like on that Apple day trade, I wouldn't be surprised if it rallies back up tomorrow up to here. That's when I would look for a possible short. Amazon, I am already short. I could see myself shorting here with a lower high V1 to the downside, but I'm already short. So Boeing, of course, I have. Alibaba, I have. I'm going to get out of that. Berkshire, bucking the trend up, but I need a pullback. Beyond Meat, I don't see anything there. Caterpillar, holding above the 200, that's very strong. Carnival, up like a monster. I have some long-term calls on Carnival for an account that I manage. I've been phasing out and did get out of another call today, which at the ask, which is a Herculean feat on long-term options, right, Kamal? DDM, Steve got out of that yesterday, locked in profits. Very nice, Steve. Walt Disney is up today. Looks like the leisure stocks are up. Etsy, of course, I am definitely getting out of that today. Facebook is down, coming into the value zone. If we could hang out in the value zone, look for V1, V2. Gold, I was thinking earlier I was going to have a 520 crossover on gold, but not yet. Possibly tomorrow, right? We uncrossed from the 520. Now we might cross back over, which is a good back-tested approach. So nothing on gold today. Google broke into the value zone. Nothing there. Goldman Sachs holding strong, really strong, above the third ATR channel, above the 200. Home Depot finally down a bit today. IBB in the value zone, needs some sideways movement. Intel, talked about that before. I really don't see anything there. Russell, I think we came very close to testing the 70 RSI yesterday, but see the confluence of what's going on up here near the 70 RSI, near the 200 day. That's, if you're gonna put on a short, this gives you probably the best risk to reward. If you're wrong and if it closes above, you get out. But if you're right, you have potential for a big move down. It's just like if I have, apples at 30 RSI and it's down at the 200-day moving average in the third ATR channel, that's very interesting to me to go long for a good risk to reward ratio. Well, this is just the opposite. It would be a decent place to short. I'm not telling you to short here, but I'm just trying to flip the script around. This is a good risk to reward ratio here. Johnson & Johnson, I don't see anything there. CarMax, finally down a little bit today. This has had a monster run. Coca-Cola, V1 to the downside. Lockheed Martin, holding strong above that 200-day. Master, down. Mickey D's, close. Look at that confluence there. The 200-day moving average, the third ATR channel, and earlier it was, probably over 65, 66 RSI. Merck rejected the 200 yesterday. Microsoft down today, V2 to the downside. Boom. Netflix, I think Glenn's going to be exiting that, locking in some profits. Nike down today. Philip Morris, strong. It's V1, bullish engulfing bar. Too high for me to take it here, but that's a good sign. PayPal, looks like a rejection of the 70 RSI. Double top with the bearish divergence. Here's the previous high. Strong MACD bars. We pulled back. Red bars. Now we went higher. And no green bars. This is a double top with the bearish divergence. This looks very bearish to me. Qs, same. 2 days of testing the 70 RSI with no luck. And then giving up. So not going to do anything with that, but that's interesting. Silver, I don't see anything there. Kamal had a beautiful trade right around back here. He took the AGQ, but he took the 520 cross and I think exited yesterday. So that was a monster trade. S&P is off of its lows. I will be buying that. Teladoc down today, so that seems like it's a little bit out of favor. Bonds. Look at this. We're at a 3390 RSI with the confluence of the 100-day moving average. If we could go under 30 and back over the 30 and go under the 100 and back over the 100, that's a beautiful confluence. We don't see this a lot when we have a confluence of the 30 RSI and the 100-day moving average. If we look at the weekly, we're just back in the value zone. If we look at the monthly, we're in an uptrend. Weekly, back in the value zone. And so this is triple screen. This is Dr. Elder's triple screen type of setup. Now we just need the trigger. So if bonds go down under 30 and back over 30 tomorrow, I will be buying them. Tesla is down today. Twitter had a big bar up yesterday. Now we're holding halfway of the big bar and bounced off to 200. I mean, this wouldn't give you a bad risk to reward ratio if you just wanted to hold this over the 200 day. I'm not going to take it, but I do like that we had the big strong bar up. We came back down. We're holding about halfway of the bar. The volume is lighter than yesterday's up bar, and it also tested the 200. I'm not going to take that, but that wouldn't, in my eyes, that wouldn't really be too bad of a setup. It's a little high for me up here, though, but UAL up 15% today. Holy smokes. Natural gas up today. Good for Bob and Quad. UNH back down into the value zone. That's why I do not like to buy up here. I'd much rather buy in the value zone in value than buy above value. Oil, nice. Karen and MA still in this beautiful trade. Man, that was such a nice higher low V2 sideways motion trade. That was a monster. Dollar just continues to go down. We are now at the 6th ATR channel, folks. Dr. Alexander calls this fading in extreme. So when it gets down to this level, he tends to buy. But there's a couple other things that have to happen. I'm not going to go into them right now, but it is very tough to get a price down to the -6 ATR channel, or to the +6 ATR channel for that matter. VIX. Ooh. I'll tell you what, if this triggers a V1 today, I will buy this. 100%. I better mark that there. I didn't notice that earlier, but if we get a V1 here today and a false break of this low, we have a V1 and a false breakout to the downside. Remember I talked about this yesterday? I said, if we could get a V2 back up in the value zone, but here we could also get a V1. So I have to watch that one carefully. Verizon, no. Walgreens, no. Walmart, look at this sideways motion, and now we've broken down. Remember, sideways motion leads to big moves either down or up. They're going to happen. We just don't know what direction or when. Energy doing down a little bit, but has had a beautiful run. Financials, very, very strong. XLRE, of course, I shorted that yesterday, so that's working out nicely for a 2% gain. XLU, we talked about that. MA has that. Healthcare and Zoom down 6%. Boy, doesn't look like it's 6%, does it? That just goes to show you the moves that we had up here. So that being said, really the only thing that I'm looking at today is VIX. If it closes above 31.18, and it is above 31.18. All right, so 31.18. All right, let me get rid of Etsy and Alibaba. Okay. Etsy and Alibaba are gone. And again, I got out because of the big reversal bar V1, just nasty bar on high volume. So that is why I got out of this. Looks like Karen, Binghee, and Miko still have this. I don't know if Karen, Binghee, and Miko did phase. I hope you did. I hope you did. And then Alibaba, I'm just locking in profits here. Has a V1 to the downside. Couldn't make it above this high. So Miko, David, Pinsky, Frank, and Karen. So anyway, if there's any updates after the market closes, let me know. Okay. Okay. So currently now VIX has untriggered. Quad says HLG does look pretty good. Kamal, under 30, over 30, higher low V2. I see a V2, but I don't see a higher low V2. This is a lower low V2. Murat says long VIX sound good. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it triggers or not. Glenn says VIX has support at 30 from August 2018. Yep. Chris Shape. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Got in UAL at 24.38. Well, let's take a look. Oh, beautiful. Congratulations, Chris. I am up $60,000, 60.1%. Fantastic, Chris. Nice going. I mean, this was, I mean, what a trade and what a day. I mean, what a trade and what a day. I mean, up 15.8%. That's fantastic. HLG is not very liquid. Yes, definitely. Zach says, Greg, once the session is over, can you explain high or low V2? Yes, sir, I will. Not sure what I'm looking for there. Well, let me find a perfect example of a high or low V1. See how we come down, we make a low here, Zach? Then we rally into the value zone. Do you see this V2 right here? Do you see how this V2 happens at a higher location than the previous low? The previous low doesn't have to be a V1 or a V2. It just makes a low. Then we rally, come back down, and then form a V1 or V2. See how this low is higher than this low? So this V1 or this V1 here came at a higher location than the previous low. Okay. Looks like the VIX may not trigger. Oh, are Etsy and Baba going to come back and go green? They might. Well, I'm out of them already. What's my line in the sand here? 31.18. All right, that's the only thing I see today. So let me get this all chambered up here. Should be interesting to see how this market closes. All right, we've got 1 minute. Hey, the Dow might go green on the day. It just might do it. There it is. I don't think I'm going to get my VIX here. Nope. All right. So, only thing I bought was SPY today. Could get a V2 tomorrow though, for sure. So listen, I'm going to go through the rest of the comments. We're going to take a look and see where I got in the new positions. If there are any updates that you would like me to put on the board, something that you've got out of, something you've got in of, please let me know, even if you've mentioned it before in the chat today, just so I make sure I get it right. But before I do, I just want to do my quick little end of day plug and let everybody know that I do teach private one-on-one lessons. I love to teach. I've had really good success with my clients. I have been trading for 24 years. I have studied with some really great teachers and mentors one-on-one in the last 24 years, like our friend Stephen Burns. Larry Williams, Dr. Alexander Elder, Carrie Lavorne. These were great teachers, great mentors. They taught me a lot. And in my course, I teach you what I have learned from my experience and also everything I've learned from my teachers and coaches. It's a good class. The course is 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours. So it is 15 hours of long form one-on-one coaching. The format is basically I teach the first part of the class. The second part, I ask questions. I have you teach it back to me. I have you break down charts. We go through tons and tons of charts. And, I ask you, break down the chart. What trade are we looking at? Is it a good risk to reward ratio? What kind of trade is it? Where's your emergency stop? Where's your intermediate term stop? Where's your ultimate profit target? Are you phasing? What chart's better, this chart or that chart? So in my experience, the best way to learn is one-on-one, right? Where you can ask questions right where you have them so you can really grasp and understand the content. So if you're interested in these lessons, what I like to do is I like to have a Skype call, initial Skype call. It's free. And I just want to get to know the prospective student. It is not a sales call. I promise you there's not 1 ounce of sales pressure. It's just a good way for us to talk, for you to ask me questions about the course, for me to ask you questions about you and your trading and your goals and your challenges. So it's free. All you have to do is reach out to me on email and we'll set up a time, or you can also reach out to me on Skype, on direct message on Skype, and we'll set it up. So, and after the call, if you're not interested, no problem whatsoever. Nice to put a face with the name. And if you are and you decide you want to take the course, then great. We'll schedule on that. So, and then lastly, if you like today's podcast, if it was helpful for you, if you find the channel helpful, I would really appreciate if you could hit the thumbs up button. Helps to grow the channel, helps kind of keep it around, right? There's a lot of people out there that could really use some good kind of guidance and see good trading principles day after day. And that's what I try to provide in this podcast. So hitting the thumbs up button does help, and sharing and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, that's that. Let me take a look real quick, see where I entered my SPY position today. There's my pen. 311.36. All right. Boom. 311.36. All right. And as you know, I did get out of Etsy and I did get out of Alibaba. Although some of you are still in it, let me know if any of you have made any changes. Let's take a look. Come on, no trades today. Gary sold Etsy. Okay. Oh, why didn't I have you on here anyway? Okay. Wiener Dog exited Etsy and Baba. All right, so Karen's there, and Karen is here. Miko exited Baba Etsy JO. Okay. Okay. Greg, regarding VIX, can you please explain the 31 potential entry price versus 3109, which was yesterday's close? Thank you. Can you please explain? Oh, okay. If you put coding language in there, you lose me. VIX. So yesterday's low was 31.18, Karen. Today we went under, we washed out the low of yesterday. If today we would have closed above the close of yesterday of 31.18. So the low was 30.94. Today we went lower than that low by at least a quarter ATR. If today would have closed above the close of yesterday, which was 31.18, that's why I had the line there, then that would be a V1. And that's why I would have taken it with a close above 31.18. Our next lesson, Karen, our number 3 lesson is exactly this, V1s and V2s. So just you let me know when you're ready and we'll get that scheduled. But your next lesson will be exactly this, exactly V1s and V2s. So that's why I would have taken the trade, but it did not. Intraday it went above, but it didn't close above, so it didn't confirm. I hope that makes sense. David says Alibaba. Okay. Pinsky's out of Baba. Okay. Bought HLG. All right. Okay, got you down there. It's V2, under 30, over 30, V2. Wiener Dog says, I have the close as 31.09 on my charts. Huh. Is it up after hours? It is up a little bit after hours. I don't know if your charts update with the after hours charts, but my close here is 30.82. Gary says I have 31.02, 31.09 as well. Huh, I don't know. I don't know. So it closed at yesterday's close. You can see on mine right here clearly it's 30.82. Yesterday's close I had at 31.18. You know, my charts, right when the market closes, it has the price, but then if it moves after hours a little bit, it tends to move that as well. But we're way off. I mean, if I look at after hours right now, I see it as 30.98 on my broker platform. But look, all you can do is stick with your charts, not with my charts. You know, if on your charts that it closed above, then it's valid, you know, but you can see clearly mine did not close above yesterday's close on my chart. So I couldn't take the trade. But, you know, sometimes charts are going to be off a little bit for whatever reason, but you know, don't be concerned about it. Just trade with what you have, right? Quad says, still in UNG, and I took a very small conservative position, HLG. Okay. As for the higher low V2, I saw the lower low was further back, so perhaps it wasn't close enough in the time frame. Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, this, yes, this is lower, or this is higher than this, but this was 3 months ago, right? I mean, this here is higher low than a recent low. See how this right here is a higher low than a recent low? This here is a higher low than this low. But over here, you know, we have lower lows here. Now it makes the lower low here. So I wouldn't go back that far to call it a higher low. You know, from here to here, yes. This higher low is higher than this low, yes. But this is a new current low. Pincy says, I love this podcast. I'm looking forward to it every day. It's fun. I learn something every time. Thank you. You are welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. It's nice to have you here every day. Gary says, agreed. That was a really good lesson last night, Gary. I felt like, and when I say good lesson, I mean good lesson in that, you really seemed to lock it in last night, everything we were doing, getting above 1 ATR, get that trailing stop. Rejecting the 50 RSI, getting at a half, getting out of the rest with a close below the previous day's low. We had some really good trades last night. I mean, I think we had one loser. We had a couple losers. Yeah, I think we had a couple losers, but definitely a lot more winners than losers. But I was really impressed with Gary last night. I've been really impressed lately with a lot of my students, like Quad and Gary. But Karen, if you're out there listening, want to get those lessons done, I'm not trying to rush it for my sake. I want you to learn everything, right? Let's take a look here. So Zach, talking about higher low V1s, V2s, again, here we make a low, we come back, we bounce, we have a little bit of a pullback, and here's a V1, whether it's a V1 or a V2, the V1 or V2 it happens at a higher level than the previous low. And the reason that's important is because the people that were fortunate enough to buy here, well, as it goes up, they're not in this for the long term. They're in this for just a short-term move before things start looking ugly. And just like if I bought down here, me, I'd be waiting it for, close below the previous day's low, something like that. Then I would be out. Well, then if you get a new group of buyers up here, then all the people that bought here sold into this. So all those people are gone. Those sellers are gone, which makes it easier to run up. This is a perfect example. I mean, lower lows bounce 2, 3, 4 bars, then they usually come back down. Sometimes they'll come back down and make a lower low, but if they don't come back down and make a lower low and they get picked up with a higher low, boom, then you have a chance for a nice longer trade because you don't have to worry about me selling into you because I sold in here. All right. Well, nice green day today. Very happy for that, for sure. It's been pretty good trading lately, for sure. Be interested to see what Apple did in the at the end of the day. Okay, yeah, things were melting down here. Okay, so Zach, here you go. Higher low V2. We come below the value zone. Gary, if you're still listening, we rally into the value zone. We have a false breakout the downside and reversal back up, rejection of the 1 ATR channel. So see this V2 right here? See how it's higher this low is higher than down here. I mean, that's a good sign going into the end of the day. Hope that makes sense, Zach. And by the way, Zach, I do have a video of this on my YouTube channel in the lessons section. Makes more sense now. Thanks as always, taking a minute to show me. You are certainly welcome. Okay, well, any other changes, any other trades? I still have, let me see. On Alibaba, Frank, I think Frank's still in Alibaba, so I'm going to move him over here. Etsy, Bing, he's not here today, so I'll move that over there. So I still have coffee hanging in there. Of course, overnight SPY trade. Boeing, I still have Monster, but that's on the weekly. Amazon, I have also on the weekly on the short. That one's still fine. And then XLRE, nice little short on that one today. All right, well, I am going to put my boots on, head out into the mountains. It's warm now, so I'm going way up in the mountains, up in the pines. It's really nice. Listen to a podcast, listen to something good, right? So anyway, thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. Please go out and try to do something nice for somebody today. Always try to do something nice. Just be pleasant. Maybe somebody one day will do it for you when you need it. So it's just a good policy. And it is scientifically proven that it will improve your trading. No, that's not true. I don't know if it's scientifically proven, but it sounds good and it doesn't hurt, right? So, all right. Have a good rest of your day. Be good. Study your charts. Read some trading books. Pet your dog. All that kind of stuff, right? And tomorrow's Friday, so last trading day of the week. Boy, this went by fast. So thanks a bunch for coming. And if you could hit the thumbs up button before we get out of here, I would really appreciate that. And Murat, awesome to see you, my friend. Really great to see you. I sincerely was concerned. I was like, I don't know if I made Murat mad or if Murat had a really bad trading experience. That was my first thought. And so I'm really glad to hear that you were short. So it's nice to have you back, Murat. Really great. Okay, that's it, everybody. Have a good one. Have a good rest of your day, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.